good people? What's poppin'? You know who it is, the homie, Greg B, the GOAT, bringing to you another episode of Let's Talk About It, a vlog where I talk about different Street Fighter topics, things that are on my mind that I think are worth talking about. Today, I wanted to talk about the ranked experience and a couple things I think that will make the ranked experience better. Now, before I get into that, I want to say that I think the majority of people who aren't enjoying ranked, it's probably because they're not winning. I think that plays a huge role, especially in a game like this. When you win it, it's fun. No matter what you're doing or how you're going about winning, when you're winning matches, the game is fun. And when you're losing matches, the game is not fun. And I think a huge portion of the frustration and dislike comes from just not winning, because I think for you to play this type of game, you got to have some sort of competitive spirit in you. And I think as a competitor, not winning fucks with you. You know what I'm saying? It makes you mad. And I think that's okay. I think that's the joy and the gift and the curse of the game. Like, if I could play a game and it incites that type of emotion in me, it makes me feel something. That's the fun. That's where that dopamine comes from when you win. But how can you have that without the anger of defeat? You know what I'm saying? So I do think that's a huge part of it. Whether or not people admit it, I think that's a big part of it. You could say drive rush is stupid, or this move shouldn't be like that. And the majority of the time when people are complaining about a character's buttons or a particular action, it's because it directly affects their ability to win matches. So I hate Luke standing crouching medium punch, but if they had a button to counter that, they wouldn't give a fuck about Luke's crouching medium punch. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the button is. So, I personally don't give a fuck about like buffs or anything like that, or nerfs. Like nerf this or buff that. Like, I don't really care, bro. Like, there was a time where the game they made was the game you got. And you just play it and you master a weak character and learn the matchups, or you pick the strong character. And it's just like, you play a sports game, you play 2K or Madden, you pick the best team, or you could pick a worse team and just be good enough to beat somebody with the best team. Or sometimes y'all both pick the best team. It's not something that's specific to fighting games. Where there's a better and a worse. That's just part of the thing. Everything can't be 100% equal. So I personally don't care about that. But let's get into making a ranked experience better. And again, these are just ideas, no specific order, but things that I think will make the ranked experience better. You know what I'm saying? The first one, I think a lot of people have a main character and a sub character. I think it would be cool if you had the ability to maybe alternate between the two in a set, so you can pre-select your main character and your sub character, and inside the set you can switch to that sub character, or vice versa, similar to how people would do in a tournament. Like when you watch tournaments, the loser of a particular round has the option to go back to the character select screen and choose a different character. I think maybe giving that ability to players and ranked would improve it and make it fun. I also think it would make it easier to practice your main and sub character without having to go back and take all of the extra steps to switch characters and go back into matchmaking and things like that. At the very least, for the main character and the sub character. I'm not saying you should be able to go back and select from any character, or maybe you can. I think being able to switch that character after inside of a set would be kind of cool, and it may improve the ranked experience overall. The second thing I think, and I kind of put this higher up on that tier list, is the ability to go into replay directly after a match. It is such a pain in the ass to have to end the match in the ranked match queue, because if you don't and you go to your replays, it'll start matchmaking again as soon as you get to replays, which is annoying as fuck. Because then when it's searching for a match, you can't control the recording. It kind of freezes and locks the menu out and stuff like that. It's super annoying. So I think if you had an option to go directly to the replay after a match, while it's still fresh in your mind, I think that would be amazing, and it would make the ranked experience so much better. Another thing that I think, points for rage quits. I think if for whatever reason you rage quit and you disconnect, you should lose points, and the person who got rage quitted on should get points. And I know they can tell when the disconnects happen, because there's now, when it happens, it displays a message about not quitting the match, and you could be penalized and this and that. So it's just different between a server error and a disconnect from the user itself. So I think, and in other games, that's not uncommon at all. You can tell who, for the most part, who ended the connection. I know it's possible. So I definitely think, there should be something where people that rage quit lose points anyway. If you disconnect, you should lose points, and the person who got disconnected on should get those points. It's super lame to beat somebody, get to the end, you hit them with level 3 or whatever it may be, and then they cut that shit off. And it is kind of satisfying making them rage quit, and you always get to laugh. But give me my fucking points. You know what I'm saying? I should still get them, and even if I don't get them, they should still lose theirs. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer to be both. I get mine and they lose theirs, but at the very least, they should lose theirs. They should lose something for cutting that shit off. You know what I'm saying? Right now, there's nothing. And then the last thing, and I think this might be something specific to NA and other regions where the MR disparity is different. Because I've heard stories about like Japan and how you can always find a ranked match with somebody around your MR range. And in NA it's not like that. But if you're forced to play the same person multiple times, you should get some sort of multiplier for beating them multiple times. So if I win a set against player A, and then I'm waiting, and then 10 minutes later I get player A again, it should recognize that I've already played this person, and then 2, getting some sort of multiplier for beating them again. Now if you lose, the points distributed the same, nothing extra. But if you're able to beat this same person in multiple sets, there should be some multiplier to incentivize you playing that person again. Because it's boring as hell, one, to have to play the same person again, especially when sometimes that person be on trash. You done beat them a couple times, so then they just trying to go super random to just beat you. And it's like they're not even really playing the game per se. They're just trying to get a win off of you. Or they rage quit, or they disconnect. So having a chance, like having some sort of multiplier, especially, and I think this is especially important for higher MR people playing lower MR people. When you're playing people with lower MR, you don't want to play them because you're not good enough to beat some of these people multiple times, and it's like, why should I keep playing this person to eventually get random out? I already know I'm not good enough, and it is good training, but I'm also trying to get my MR up so I can play better people. And if I go on an 8-game, 10-game winning streak but I'm beating people and only getting 4 points, and then I lose a set to one of these people and lose 20 points, I literally just negated my entire winning streak off of a lost set. You know what I'm saying? If I was to get some sort of multiplier or beating these lower MR people where I beat them once and I ran into them again, I beat them again, but every time I'm beating them, I'm getting more points, even if they cap it at some point to where like, all right, you maxed out, you only get 8 points or 10 points for this person, even though you beat them multiple times. I think that would incentivize higher MR people to play lower MR people more consistently, and it would give lower MR people a chance to improve because they're playing better competition. And again, it would give higher MR people a chance to gain more points, to where it became worth the risk. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to play Legends. I'm not good enough yet. I haven't taken a character to Legend rank yet. And every once in a while, I'll get matched up with one. And, 9 times out of 10, they're going to one and done. And I understand why. Because if for whatever reason it lags or they drop the match, they're going to lose 20 points or 15 or 16 or whatever, and only stand to gain 0 or 1 point. Like that shit looks crazy. And I feel it even at like as a 1600 MR player. You run into somebody that's got like 1300 or 1200, and if I lose to them one match, even if I beat them the next 2, I'm not gonna get back what I lost. You know what I'm saying? So something to kind of incentivize higher MR people playing lower MR people in sets. If they win the set, you get the multiplier, and next time you see them, you can continue. Something like that, man. Maybe you do it based on MR ranges, where if you win sets against people in certain MR ranges, you get the multiplier. And again, I don't know what that would do to the MR structure overall, but just something I think would maybe make the ranked experience better. And I think that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna just go over these one more time. The ability to choose a sub character inside a rank set, whether you pre-select your sub character or you're able to go back to the character select screen and select somebody different the same way you would in a tournament. The ability to go directly into a replay after a match. Points for rage quits, whether the rage quitter loses points and the person that got quit on gains points, or at the very least the rage quitter just loses points. And then some sort of multiplier for beating the same person in sets multiple times, or certain MR ranges. I don't know, one of those two. But let me know what you guys think. This has been another episode of Let's Talk About It, and we talked about improving the rank sets. Make sure you guys follow on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe, the bell notifications. I appreciate it. Y'all take it easy. Peace.